Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed, where we unbox the power and the potential of relationships. Today's question: how can I be supportive of my alcoholic brother without encouraging his alcoholism? Stay tuned as we answer that question. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed, where we attempt to unbox the power and the potential of all relationships, sibling relationships, parent-child relationships, marital relationships, relationships at work, relationships at the church, wherever you may be. We want you to be empowered to live your best life and to create a warm, positive, healthy relationship culture. And so I encourage you to like, subscribe, and to share. Like, subscribe, and share. And as you're coming in, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Also, please visit our website. The web address, there it is. The web address is right there. Go to our web address and check out all the wonderful services that Unboxed provides, and you, especially with our community services. And if you want to support through giving, we welcome your support. Please also send in your questions, which we answer each and every day here. Send in your questions. If you have a question about the workplace, we answer those questions on Manic Monday. That's the day we deal with workspace. If you have a question about church, we address those questions on Sunday, and then the rest of the week we just deal with relationship questions in general. But send your questions in. You can email them to us at info@swg-unboxed.org, or you can go to our website and send it through our contact us link, or you can direct message right here on this website. But don't leave your questions in the chat, because a lot of times we miss the things that come into the chat. So make sure that you send it through one of our other methods. Okay, let me go ahead and get started. Again, like, subscribe, and share. Here's the question that comes in today. This question comes from Shelton, who lives in New York City. And his question is, how can I be supportive of my alcoholic brother without encouraging his alcoholism? How can I be supportive of my alcoholic brother without encouraging his alcoholism? You know, first of all, I want to say this. Alcoholism or any other addiction can be very taxing on a family. This is a very serious challenge that too many people in America and across the world are dealing with. So my heart goes out to you, Shelton, as you and your family are trying to navigate this reality. And so I hope that whatever I share with you today can be beneficial, can be encouraging. I do want you to know that there is hope. We've seen individuals become sober. We've seen individuals kick the habit of crack cocaine, cigarettes, meth, LSD. I mean, the list, cocaine, whatever it may be, the list goes on, because there really is power. And I am a true born-again Christian, and I believe that there's power in Jesus to break free of habits and addictions. But I do want to share with you some information about how you can be a part of the process of watching your brother heal, because that's what I'm hearing in your question. How do I support my alcoholic brother without supporting his or encouraging his alcoholism? I want to share with you 4 points that I think will be very relevant as you begin to think through and to move to the next level in helping your brother and even improving your own life. And the first thing is, it's actually a question, and I want to ask you, what is your ultimate goal? That's the question I want to ask you. What is your ultimate goal? You know, you said you wanted to help your brother. You want to be supportive. So what is your ultimate goal? And I want you to think long term and think multidimensional. Like, what is your ultimate goal as it relates to the relationship that you'll have with your brother? What is your ultimate goal? What would be the ultimate outcome if your brother becomes the person that you want him to be? Think about what is your ultimate goal about who you want to be. And this is where it gets really important. Think about your ultimate goal about who you want to be should your brother get sober? Think about your ultimate goal of who you want to be while your brother is getting sober. So should he get sober? We're going all the way to the final destination. What is your ultimate goal? Who do you want to be while your brother is getting sober? And then the last question, still within that frame, is who do you want to be should your brother choose not to become sober? So we're thinking about your ultimate goal. If your brother chooses that he wants to remain an alcoholic, the question you have to ask yourself is, well, who am I going to be? Who am I going to be if he gets sober, if he chooses not to get sober, or while he's on the path to sobriety? Who am I going to be in whatever dynamic that may be? And that, again, can become clearer if we think about what our ultimate goal is. What is our ultimate goal for ourselves, for our brother, for our family within the relationship dynamic here? The second thing that I want to share with you is to get a little clarity about what support means. And this is a very difficult one, especially for families who have addicts, because a lot of times when we have individuals in our families who are struggling, we kind of see them as the pet project. And so a lot of the family energy goes into that person trying to figure out how to get this person to do right, how to fix this person. It's almost like the family becomes the medical team trying to figure out how to triage and how to cure this person. And so I want you to kind of step back from that philosophy. And I want you just to think about, what does it mean to be supportive? Not to fix him, but what does it just mean to be supportive? Because that's the words that you use. I want to support my brother. And this has to, of course, be based on your reality. So what does it mean when I say I want to support him? Let's put a little definitions here. And I always find it helpful when you write things out. But let's put a little definition here. What does it mean to be supportive? And as you're writing out this definition of what support means in this reality, also think about your family reality. Do you have small children that you're responsible for? What are your work obligations? How much time or finances or emotional energy can you invest into this process? So what does support mean? What does support mean? I really want you to think about that and to write it out. So what is your ultimate goal? Now that I figured out what my ultimate goal is and I've kind of worked through those, my next thing I'm trying to figure out is, what does support mean? How does that look? What am I really able to give? And I want you to think about this as you think about support, and then I'll move on and we'll close out. I want you to think about this as you think about support. I want you to think about that your support has to be always toward the ultimate goal. So whatever you have identified as your ultimate goal and the various nuances of that, then your support has to be based on moving toward that ultimate goal. And then I'm going to share with you two questions that we've asked a lot in various different types of relationship, but I really believe it's important when we're dealing with family members who are struggling with addiction. And this is the question number 3, which is, who are you responsible to? Who are you responsible to? And this is important to understand, because as you are trying to support, encourage, and be there for someone who is dealing with an addiction, or let's take addiction out the picture. Let's just say it's someone who has a medical issue or whatever it may be, someone who has a challenge and needs to be supported. You have to ask yourself, who am I responsible to? And this kind of goes back similar to what we said was the last question, where you begin to identify the individuals in your life that you have responsibility towards. So that may be your children, that may be your spouse, that may be other family members. And of course, it includes the individual who is struggling with alcoholism. But begin to think about, as I seek to be supportive, who are the individuals that my support, however it may be, will impact? And who am I responsible to in this situation? Because we sometimes become hyper-focused on the person who is struggling, who has the challenge, who has the addiction, and we become hyper-focused to the exclusion of other individuals, not realizing that if we say we're going to support someone, how does the various ways we manifest that support impact the other members of our family, the other members of our circle, who we also have a responsibility towards? So who are you responsible to? And what are you responsible for? Now, this is huge. What are you responsible for? When we talk about support, because too often individuals who are dealing with addictions will try to put a lot of the weight and the burden on your shoulders for their recovery. Because again, unfortunately, oftentimes society as well as families, when an individual is dealing with addiction, we view them as the patient. And so we almost become like an emergency room with everybody circling around them, trying to figure out how do we fix this person. So it's not only who you're responsible to, but what are you responsible for in this scenario? And what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to take upon yourself additional responsibilities. You have to be able to set clear, healthy boundaries if you want them to become a healthy person. One of the ways, and there are several ways, but one of the ways that we set healthy boundaries is by being clear. And that's why I love writing stuff out, being very clear about what am I responsible for in this relationship. As I'm working toward an ultimate goal, as I'm trying to accomplish a very specific thing, as I'm attempting to be supportive, what am I responsible for? So, for instance, am I responsible for going through their house and making sure that there are no alcohol bottles in their house and pouring out all the alcohol that's in the house? Am I responsible for that? Is that my responsibility? Am I responsible for making sure that they show up at all the AA meetings, or making sure that they arrive at the rehab center or wherever, whatever method you choose? Am I responsible for badgering them and telling them, oh, why are you drinking again? I'm getting sick and tired. You're hurt. What am I responsible for? And it's not more about what you're not responsible for, but what are you responsible for? And once you clearly outline that, then you can begin to set up healthy boundaries and say, you know what? I am not responsible for this. I am responsible for this. So for example, I am responsible for being a listener. Or it may be, I am responsible for driving into the AA meetings on Tuesdays and Fridays. That is what I am responsible for. I'm not responsible for getting them there on Wednesday. I'm not responsible for providing them with financial resources. I'm not responsible for making sure that they have a job. This is what I am. And that you'll come over a pretty clear list as you begin to think this thing through. And then set your boundaries, because the worst thing that you can do for someone who is an addict is to give into their whims, their manipulations, and their desires. The best thing you can do is to have healthy, clear boundaries and to encourage and to support them as they grow. And trust me, they will throw tantrums. They will try to accuse and to blame you. You are not responsible for how another human being behaves. You are only responsible for your behavior, your responses, your reactions, the way that you present in a different in every situation. All right, gave you a mouthful today, but I hope that this is beneficial to you. Again, like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about UnBoxed. And until we meet back here again tomorrow evening, I look forward to seeing each of you as we unbox the power and the potential of our relationships. Have a good night.
Seasoned with Grace, UnBoxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.